You see, ये lost in translation है. हिंदी पंजाबी च आपां कहंदे हां पूर्ण गुरु. Puran means whole. Perfect means one who has no imperfections. Now, no human being can be perfect. Body means imperfection. Body means karma. So, till that imperfection is there, there will be mistakes, there will be lapses, there will be different things. Like I said earlier also that if any human being is perfect, you will not be able to follow him. Because he will be at a totally different plane from you and you will never be able to catch up with him. That is why they say, don't walk in front of me, I cannot follow. Don't walk behind me, I cannot lead. Walk beside me as a friend. So this is something we have to do together. In Dera, there is nobody senior, there is nobody junior, koi vada nahi, koi chota nahi ethe. Sare ekko jike. We are all sevadars. I don't think so. Any master has thought himself as any different than a sevadar. They have taken it up not as a position but as a seva. And their thought process has always been to fulfill the seva that has been given to them. So we are all sevadars. We are all working towards fulfillment of our responsibility that we have taken. It's okay that somebody has to be in the lead, somebody has to give direction. To that extent, yes, we've put them a little ahead. But in actuality, we are all sevadars. We are all working towards a certain purpose, a certain objective, which we will achieve from the outside seva into the inner seva. The topmost seva is our meditation. E seva chakari, naam avase, man aaye.
Guruji, I was not born as into a satsangi family to a point of exposure. My father has been a satsangi, but I was not exposed to it. And after many years, I came onto the path, and so I had an outside-in perspective. Being a father, a parent now of two children who are kind of born to the path, I feel a lot of times there is a big difference in people who come onto the path as opposed to those who were born into the path, grown up with this preconceived notion that that is the only thing that is appropriate. How do you talk to your children if they have doubts or if they have a lack of understanding of the other perspective?
Doubts will always be there. If somebody tells me he's got doubts, I can live with that, I can understand that. But if somebody stands up and says, I have no doubts and I'm 100% sure, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. Now, there's a benefit of being born in a satsangi family and there is a disadvantage also. Now, being born in a satsangi family, yes, there are certain things we take for granted. We know that this is going to happen. But then on the other side, familiarity breeds contempt. The expectation also then becomes very high. Now, you've been brought up in a certain culture, and if you don't see the other satsangis, your parents, your relatives, being good examples, then the doubts will increase. So it works both ways. You come from outside, there's very little expectation, you are open to the philosophy, you're willing to listen, you're willing to learn. But having been born in a satsangi family, knowing what the basics should be, and you see that everybody is not being the example he should be, then there are more doubts. Will I be able to fulfill it? Will I be able to live it? So it's not that one has an advantage and the other is at a disadvantage. So both, it depends upon the individual how he looks at it. You don't judge a school by a single child. You take everything in totality to see the reputation of the school. But most of us, we will take one odd person out and say, oh, he's taken Naam, he's broken all the vows. Now, that's his individual perspective, his strength, his weakness. That doesn't mean that that is the weakness of the philosophy as such. Individuals can be wrong, individuals can falter, not the philosophy. And that is why the emphasis out here always has been focus on the philosophy rather than the individual. Now, individual can make mistakes, But the philosophy is what will stand the test of time. Truth doesn't change. Perspectives change. Ideas can change. Truth doesn't change. So if we look at the philosophy as such and we follow the philosophy rather than taking A, B, C, D into account, A, B, C, D has its strengths and weaknesses. At some time, definitely they are going to falter. But his strength, his weakness is not my strength and my weakness. So I can't compare myself with him. I have to build it on my strengths. And therefore my focus should be on the philosophy rather than on any individual.
Should it be like that as a parent to your children also, Babuji, where you share the philosophy with them and that's how you build the relationship and leave it to them?
For the children, the parents are always some sort of an ideal. Consciously or subconsciously, the child is watching every move you make, whatever you say and do. He's watching you. And eventually, that is the learning that he gets. Now, if he has doubts in the way your behavior is, then life becomes a contradiction. Many times we are sitting in the house, somebody calls and you say, tell them I'm not here. Now, there's a way of putting it. Okay? Instead of saying I'm not here, he's not available. But if you tell him he's not there, the child, what does he learn? Duality. There's one set of rules for my parents, one set of rules for others. Now, these are little things that make a big impression on the children. So we have to be good examples. If you are good examples, the child, that is the foundation of that child. But if he learns about duality, he learns that, there'll be a different set of measures for them and for me, then he's always in a flux, which way to go.
How can we be good human beings? You always say that we should.
Good is relative, now. One man's food can be another man's poison. So you have to decide good and bad for yourself. Something which is good for you may not be good for the other person. So you can't describe what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong. We have to search for it ourselves. And that experience will teach us. I don't think so anybody can tell you. So as we go further, as we try and be good human beings, the basic idea is to be a good human being. And if you're a good human being, you will automatically start understanding what is good about life, what is good about everybody.
So being negative is not being good, or is that,
Why should we be negative? Why should we be negative? It's our thinking that puts things into slots. Whatever the Lord has created cannot be negative, cannot be bad, cannot be wrong. Now, because we don't understand the purpose of that, that's why we put it into different slots. We take the example of the rose. You see the rose, beautiful, colorful, nice, pleasant, positive. Your eyes go a little below, you see the thorns. Thorns give you pain, they hurt. We say negative. But if you look at it in totality, if the thorn was not there, how would you protect the rose from wild animals? So if you see it from that purpose, automatically you will understand what is the purpose of this thorn being with the rose. So try and see things in totality. When you see things in totality, then there's nothing positive and negative. But if you see them in isolation, then that segregation takes place and things become positive and negative.
Babaji, you just seem to be saying that the guru is not different or more special than the disciple. That's what I understood you were saying just there.
In front of the Lord, we are souls. He doesn't see bodies. He doesn't see individuals. He sees us as drops of that divine ocean.
So, Babaji,
As a mother, would you want to choose between your children? If you are all drops of that ocean, we are all children of that divine Father, do you think that he's a biased entity who will choose?
But if you're looking from the down upwards, we're coated with
That
rubbish.
is your perspective,
Exactly.
not
so,
his perspective.
Yeah.
For him, everybody is the same. For him, everybody is the same. You see, in a family, say family, there are 3-4 children, and the father divides everything amongst the children. I mean, half his wealth he divides, half he keeps. Now the child who's appreciative, father is happy with him, he knows that he values it, he cherishes it, he is happy to give it to him. But the one who doesn't, who thinks that he's got less, or the other one has got more, he's always complaining, the father tends to hold back, thinking that he doesn't appreciate. He needs to mature a little more, otherwise he'll just sort of destroy what has been given to him. So it depends upon us how much we appreciate what is given to us. So those who appreciate, definitely the Lord will give to them with abandon. But those who always question, those who are always thinking that they have got the short side of the bargain, or they should have got more, or they should have got this or that, then definitely he feels that they need to mature a little more to appreciate what is being given to them, to value what is being given
I
to
think
them.
what I was trying to say, Babaji, is that I'm not ready to buy into the idea that the Guru and we are the same. Yesterday you said we're prospective masters. And,
Why?
And that's not learning.
Is your body any different from my body?
I'm not talking
Is
about
your
the-
blood and my blood different?
I'm not talking about the physical.
Then do you feel more pain and I feel less pain, or I feel more pain and you feel less pain?
No, I'm not talking about
So
that.
these are distinctions we have created of caste, of religion, of color. We've created these distinctions. So there is no distinction. For the Lord, the only distinction is your karma, nothing else.
Yeah. So if I come back to the discussion of Puran Guru and Shabad Guru, could we say that Puran is Shabad Guru? Puran is Shabad.
Yes.
It's like Shabad is
Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
and Puran is everything.
Yeah.
And that is what is unique about the Master.
When we say somebody is whole, let's take a crude example. We say whole wheat flour. Right? Whole means which is more nourishing rather than something, which has been segregated and separated and everything. Whole means he is whole in all aspects of his life. He has experienced the different ups and downs. He has achieved a balance. I'm not saying perfection. I'm talking about a balance. And he has got the capacity and the capability to understand and to stay in his will. The moment you achieve perfection, you won't be here. If we are here, it is because of our imperfections. And if we are imperfect, we will make mistakes.
शब्द कमावे सो गुर पूरा उन चरणन की हो जा तूरा. That is some of the.
Yeah, but how do we know? ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਪਤਾ ਕਿ ਉਹਦੀ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਕਮਾਈ ਆ? ਆਪਣੇ ਕੋਲ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਪਰਖ ਦਾ ਨਤੀਜਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਾ. For each one of us, there is no thermometer to measure ਕਿ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਾਈ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ. We are only going on the face value. And here the face value is, ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਨਾਮ ਲਿਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਸੀ. He could have put anybody's name, and if our love, I say it is the maturity of the love for their master that they were able to accept whomever he put there. It could have been X, Y, Z, anybody.
Maharaji used to give few worldly examples ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪੂਰਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕਿਸੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਮੰਗਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਹ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਮਾਈ ਤੇ ਖੁਦ ਜੀਂਦਾ ਹੈ. ਪੂਰਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਪੰਜ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਦਾ ਭੇਦ ਸਮਝਾਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ. There are Bani quotes in this. So Hazur used to quote in his satsangs that these are few things जो इंसान उन्होंने जरिए अंदाजा
जिस मिलने से होए आनंद सो मेरा
सतगुर कहिए
गुरुदेव
जी.
ठीक है ना? So it's, we are going by our outer perspectives, our outer emotions, our feelings. We like somebody, we are willing to listen to him. You don't like him, he may be saying the right things, you are not willing to listen to him. Some incident takes place in life, you got a mental block, he could be telling you all the right things in life, you're not willing to listen, you're not willing to accept. So we are going on our perspectives, we are still using our intellect, whereas spirituality, you have to go beyond intellect. To actually get the essence of spirituality, you have to go beyond intellect. But for most of us today, we are using our reasoning, we are using our logic, we are using our intellect still to decide, okay, is this thing right or wrong?